Mina-san. Hopefully this is working. It says I'm live, but I've also learned not to 100% trust this. We'll wait just a second, make sure everything's working fine. It's not showing up on the stream yet, so... Alright, looks like it's coming through just fine. Okay. So, we're going to continue where we left off last time. For anyone who needs a lovely review over what we did last time. Last time on The Great Ace Attorney, we found out that we were accused of murder. The lady who was with our Professor Watson disappeared from the scene of the crime. The waiter was a police officer. And people told lies while Prosecutor Payne, didn't apparently understand what was going on. Everybody caught up? Yep, let's just go. Same day, 11:38 a.m. Great Court Defendant Room number 5. Well done, Raito. That was splendid. I can't believe I'm still alive. However, I can't believe this. Look at you. Your knees are trembling, you're covered in sweat, your eyes are shifting all over the place, and your knees and your teeth keep clenching. And yet, even under this kind of pressure, you are still able to find a contradiction in the facts. Perhaps you really are suited to be an attorney. Please stop! I've had enough of all these thoughts for one day in my life. Yes, I know, DBZ voice. You guys are probably, I think, about a minute behind me, so that just shows. But it's not lagging like before, right? Alright. In any case, we finally dragged her out, right? This so-called phantom woman. Oh dear God, the lovely phantom woman. I'm going to explain her name in a minute because it only makes sense if you are a Sherlock Holmes fan. Lady Giselle Boulette. She's an exchange student from the Great British Empire, right? Alright, so Giselle Bullet is a play on Giselle Bullet. The Giselle Bullet was the bullet that was actually in Watson from the war before he met Sherlock. So it's a play on that. Because, play on words is always how we're gonna solve a case. See, this is what we come back to, as I was saying from the very beginning. At the time, Professor Watson was not alone. He was with a young woman. Well, yeah. At least I have confidence in my own observational skills, damn it. Yeah, I do. By the way, about that lady, the detective arranged for her to suddenly vanish from the scene, but... Didn't you see anything when that happened? No, I didn't see anything. When I was about to leave around the area where Professor Watson was sitting, I noticed a gun on the ground, so I instinctively picked it up. Boom! God game! I don't need that in my life! I had no time to figure out where the gunshot came from. The waiter suddenly ran up to me with an expression of anger on his face, and I was forcibly led into the kitchen back room. As expected of the detective, it was a pretty tactful arrest. Quickly get you away from the crime scene, and after that, I have no clue what happened to the scene. I'm utterly clueless. Is that... Do you guys need me to turn down my mic audio? Luckily there's no lag, and I'm thankful that there's no lag this time. I think I figured out the problem from last time. Hello there! That was a splendid job, both of you! Ah! Professor Yujin Mikotoba! Blech. It appears I was right about my hunch. The both of you make a good combination. You performed better than I had originally anticipated. I knew it! This whole thing was a setup from you, Professor. It still feels like he was just being a douchebag to be a douchebag. I'm sorry. You were a douchebag of a professor. The hashtag is localize_DGS. And that's been the hashtag for a long time for this game. It came out last year, and we really want it localized, especially since we're getting a second game in this series in Japan. So, it's localize DGS for localized Daigaku Saiben. It's just translated as the Great Ace Attorney. Anyway, let us continue. Removing me, the original attorney, from this trial. It was all part of your plan, wasn't it? Dots. This country is still very soft, and our law is even softer. That is why there is much to be gained from sending youth to be nurtured in the heart of justice overseas as exchange students. Yes, there will be Japanese names, but I still localized a good majority of these names. One of them is Giselle Bullet. Her Japanese name is Giselle Brett, because Brett is kind of a play on the word bullet in Japanese, because you don't have L's in Japanese. I changed it to Bullet because it sounds like bullet, but it still has that air of being like an actual last name that you might actually have. But yes, there are localized names, and there are non-localized names, especially in this chapter where we're in Meiji, Japan. I don't localize too many of the character names. And I'm gonna do my best to make it so that it's not hard for you to understand what the names are. I do not wish for your exchange trip to be cancelled, and thus to avoid such a scenario, I had to intervene. ... Even so, what good would it do if I cannot even save my best friend in his time of desperation? I would be nothing more than a pathetic man. I will personally resign myself from this exchange trip should such a thing happen. Huh? What on earth are you saying? Yes, that is the hashtag. And I'm sorry, I thought it was apparent when I first announced that we were going to be doing this. I used that hashtag with it. As I expected. I thought you would say that. Kanan. So, everything comes down to you. Huh? Me, sir? Prove your own innocence and expose the truth of this case. By any means necessary, please. I would also enjoy to hear about this truth. Haha. I would enjoy to hear about this truth too, buddy. Come. After all, I can't say that I'm wholly unrelated to this incident, you see. Come to think of it, Professor Mikotoba said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? Professor, could it be that you were acquainted with the victim? Well, yes I was. The person who formerly opened an invitation for the late John H. Watson to come and take a position at our Imperial Ivy University. That, in fact, was me. Is that so? This is the first time I've heard of this as well. Whatever the case may be, this is but a showdown. The murder victim was a professor from the Great British Empire, a person whose name holds much weight in our society today. Our government simply wishes to convict a criminal as soon as humanly possible, thus adding to our headache, plus the opponent we're going to face. Someone the Raito police force tried so desperately to hide. An exchange student from the Great British Empire. A lady. It's Beijing period. I'm going to just accept that apparently a lady is a viable term to describe people. Oh, shock. The prosecution will use that influence and be on the pursuit for you both, I imagine. However, if they are up against the two of you, this battle will go on until the very end. Please do your best. Yes, sir! Oh, and also, I would like you to enroll in the university immediately. It might be necessary for the future. He's talking to the girl. Yes. Kanan-sama, I wish you luck. Sama is an extremely polite honorific. Do you not do that? Sorry, somebody is whining in my background. Defendant! Recess is about to end! Get back into the courtroom immediately! It's time. I'm gonna be counting on you, partner. Let's cut those old fools' brittle claims clearly into pieces. I want to see you draw the sword, please. Hey, Kanan? What is it? Thank you so much. Why are you repeating yourself? If you hadn't put your faith in me, I'm sure I would have been sentenced guilty a long time ago. I have faith in you as a man, also as an attorney and a friend. Well, based on my knowledge of wink wink nudge nudge Sherlock Holmes, I think Giselle Bullitt is probably my most likely suspect, and who I probably would have thought the crime was committed no matter what. They point to her. It's obvious that they point to her. Kanan. If I am declared guilty in this trial, Kanan says he's going to officially resign himself from the exchange trip. And he is not a guy to throw around empty threats. This battle now, it's not just about me. No matter who my opponent is, I cannot afford to lose this fight. Yeah. I'll keep all my thanks until the very end of this trial. I'll treat you to a beef hot pot from the university cafeteria when the time comes. An extra large serving, of course. Kanan! Oh, I love you, Kanan. You're wonderful. Why can't all of my lovely assistants be like this? Same day, 2:09 p.m., Great Court, Court number 2. Henceforth, the court is resuming in the trial of Raito. Prosecutor Shuriken Benu, how is the new witness faring?
Yes, Your Honor. The summons was somehow successful. Currently, due to a certain greenhorn's fault, the government is escorting her over, you see.
Well, sorry on my part. The government is simply doing their job by escorting her. I fail to see any problem.
Thanks to all the ruckus we've been making, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if our relationship with the Great British Empire turned on its head to the worst. I can't imagine how you would rectify such a situation if our empire sinks under the violation of this friendly treaty due to this incident.
I'm very sorry? Up. Forming treaties with an empire so easily angered would just render the paper into a useless piece of, well, crap. That's what would happen. Hold on 1 minute. I fail to see any problem.
What?
Having this trial be under the absolute of secrecy. Seeing that there are only foreign officers in the court, and intervening with the investigation to let a key witness escape? If this is what we call the law, just what empire does this court belong to?
Silence! Know your place, student. You kids understand nothing. Our empire is in a very bad position, so to speak, I'll have you know. Standing on the shoulders of a great power allows our empire to rise in strength. It's a basic gamble of politics. And it's this exact straightforward path that forged the mingling that builds our future into the empire that we need.
What's some bad translation? I'll admit, I'm a greenhorn student with horrible study habits, but standing here in this great court, I am strong. That a country without justice in its law can't possibly have any sort of future prospects, I think. Woo! Nice! I'm still wanting to know what, Bryce, what did you think was a bad translation? I really want to know. Your shifting eyes aside. That was well said, Raito.
Damn it!
Very well! This great court of our empire upholds the highest level of our laws, and it exists for the sake of our Japanese empire's very own justice. I now declare that this trial be resumed, and that the next witness take the stand. The exchange student from the Great British Empire, Miss Giselle Bullet!
Yes, Your Honor!
Alright, guys. Face of evil time. Oh, dear God. Oh, okay. Yeah, understand that my translation is a lot of loosely. I'm taking, like, exactly what they're saying, and I'm sort of trying to make it easier for you guys to understand. Oh, yeah, I wish Panu would rest in peace.
Oh, hello there. To have you come all this way. Welcome to the country of Japan.
Someone! Fetch some red tea, quickly! An Englishman's greetings begins with tea and ends with tea! Okay, I feel like I'm getting a Delilah Hawthorne flashback here. Giselle is a type of bullet, actually. But it's also a type of bird, but it's referencing the bullet. Because it's the bullet that was stuck in Watson, which is why, in the game, it's the person who killed Watson. And I'm not making this up. I literally inferred that the first time I played through just by her name. Her name was just like, oh God. Oh God. Giselle Bullet. Is that true? Hell if I know.
Ahem. Now, witness, pardon our rudeness, but could you tell us your name and occupation?
Oh God. Yes, sir. My name is Hosonaga Sotoru. I work as a temporary waiter in La Quintantos. As an infiltrator, my real identity is...
I don't care. I'm not asking you.
Ladies first! An Englishman starts off a conversation with a lady and then ends off a conversation with a lady. Is that fact?
Hell if I know.
More importantly than that, earlier you said this. That you have confidence in your own observational skills, or something along those lines. Yes, I did say something along that line. Along the lines of that. Hold on one second, guys. Somebody is a little too whiny to be left in this room. So you see, that, and all the description you could have given, it's just female? Oh, I can't blame you, Conan. The way you just said it. Yeah, totally. I'll be blunt. Your eyesight is worse than looking through a peephole. Shut up! It's actually leave me alone, but I think shut up works better.
Anyway, once again, witness, your name and occupation, please.
Queen's English that we cannot read because look at that! Can you people read that? God! Why did you people say this? Da da da. Remember she's a foreigner. Da da da. Remember she's a foreigner. Da da da. You all have to remember she's a foreign maiden.
Oh, lady, please excuse me, but what?
Whisper in the Queen's English. Because apparently one random, very random, police officer apparently speaks the Queen's English. Her name is Giselle Bullet. She crossed the ocean and into this land from the English capital of London. She is here as a research exchange student. Currently, it appears she's affiliated with the Imperial Ivy University's medical block. Officially, I say.
Oh, wow! What? The great British Empire! People carry such a surprising richness to my ears. Even this pain who can understand your words, cannot understand your words. I will follow its beauty.
Not calligraphy. That is how old British people wrote their stuff. From what I can hear, the translations provided by the detective next to her can be trusted. Oh, that's right. As expected of you, Kaning, you're so well prepared for this trip that you aren't even fazed by the English. You as well. I can see you didn't just join the English club just to learn nothing, Raito. But we still didn't understand what it was. Now then, noble witness! It might be frightful, but we would like to ask you to testify. 3 days ago, at the scene of this terrible incident in La Quintantos, you were in an enclosed dining table with the late Professor Watson. Say 6 words back. She says yes. That is not 6 words, buddy. That is not 6 words. You are lying to me. This is very, very troublesome. That woman, she comes to our country as an exchange student, but can't even speak our language? It seems the reason she had to disappear from the scene was due to an emergency, and she expresses her deepest apologies. After the incident, the university made a research announcement, and she had no option but to leave the scene of the crime. Some cheek you have for someone who personally allowed for her to escape. I was simply executing the special orders issued to me by the headquarters. Your special orders were literally meant to allow a criminal to escape. I'm sorry. BS on you.
Oh, excuse me. Lady, could you kindly look at this photo? When that incident occurred, the fact that you were unfortunately present means that you must have seen the moment of the spiteful crime that unfolded before your very eyes, correct?
Blobbity blobbity English that we can't read nor understand. That had been a most frightful and sorrowful spectacle, she says. Sorrowful. translated also as sad, but okay, a most frightening and hopeless spectacle. I'm making up stuff, as she says. Then indeed, you witnessed the crime? Is that what you're about to say? Yes, Your Honor. It seems she did, in fact, see this crime as it unfolded. Blech. The defendant right there is the one who fired the gun at the victim without a shred of mercy. She says she witnessed the scene at the very moment he did so. BS on you, lady. BS on you. Try again. You're the one who has a little bit more of a guilty face on you since you ran away from the scene of the crime. I don't care what you have to do in your life. You do not leave the scene of the crime until you have been proven that you have not done the crime. Order! Order! Order!
It was as you've heard, Your Honor. Exactly this, is irrefutable evidence.
It's not really evidence because but hey, it seems this has made it very clear. She will be our true opponent. Oh? As much as I would rather we would not have to do this, witness, please give us your testimony. Tell us what those eyes of yours saw that day, following that frightful, and I'm just gonna go with sad. I don't want to try to figure out a better word for it. Sad spectacle. Queen's English. What is the point of an exchange student that cannot understand any of the language? I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry guys, looks like the screen froze for a second. Let me... Alright, are you guys seeing the screen alright? I'm guessing you see the screen alright. Do warn me if the screen freezes again. I do not look at the computer screen. I am paying mainly attention to my 3DS as well as glancing at the chat. So anytime the screen freezes, I don't know. If I do play Danganronpa, you guys have to actually make it so I'll play it. It will not be something that I would play unless people suggest it to me, and it would definitely not be until at least December because there are games that will be taking up my time until December. Alrighty. What that thing just said, that frightful and sad spectacle, I'm just going with sad. I'm not going to try to translate it better. Queen's English, 6 words. It has to be 6 words. That day, I had joined with Professor Watson for a rather late lunch. The professor could not have his meal. Therefore, I ordered a steak for myself. At some point, the defendant over there strode over and greeted the professor. They had a conversation that escalated into a dispute. Then he took the professor's handgun into his hands and shot him in front of my eyes. I had no such firearm on me. Sorry, that was lagging a little bit. I had no such firearm on me, so it's impossible for me to have committed the crime. Oh, the judge said something before he said hi. I'm going to say what the judge said, then I'll go into what Ryu's saying. That does sound like very decisive evidence. Sir! That's what Ryo said, and now we will say what actually Ryo is saying. I swear, I didn't have any dispute with the professor.
Objection! Do not interrupt!
I was interrupting the judge, not the testimony, so screw you!
You're an eyesore of black against this fair, noble flower. Who do you think is going to win our trust? You should know full well. Cock!
You haven't improved at all, Raito. Just sitting idly by and getting turned around by others will not change your situation. Learn to deal with it. Ugh, but I am annoyed. During that time, I myself was on the scene as well. After that, I had gotten in touch with headquarters to report about this woman and these two witnesses' deposition. It was then concluded that this woman was unrelated and she wanted to head home. You don't get to do that! No, because you kept her hidden from me. Sorry, you cannot just say that she is unrelated. Try again! If only the two witnesses' testimonies were legitimate. In any case, this lady was wearing the same garments on the day of the incident, however. As you can see, there was no location where she could have concealed a handgun. I think you can conceal a handgun in that hat. I think you could conceal a little tiny handgun in that hair. I think under that dress you could have a handgun. Try again on your logic! I think you could just hide one handgun just about anywhere on yourself, though. Thank you, Ryu, for sharing my logic.
As you cannot prove there was a place to hide it, you would just be making empty claims.
This garment has no pockets. There is no place to hide a handgun, she says. Why did you tack that on? Damn, I want to turn that lady upside down and shake her just to be sure. You're thinking a very dangerous thought, Raito. But I was not the one who fired the gun, so it must be another gun at the crime scene. True, that lady must have concealed it somehow. We need to prove that, however. And for that to happen, we'll have to destroy her testimony, no matter what. I'm sorry, but that smile? Screw you, lady. Screw frickin' you! That smirk! That smirk! That smirk says you did something. You did something that I'm gonna find out, lady. I'm sorry for my lovely little tangent there. Very well, defense. I order the cross-examination to be carried out immediately. Yes! Couldn't have his meal. you're talking about the fact that the professor went to the Hirota Treatment Center and had his decaying tooth extracted, right? It is as you say. You didn't even ask the lady next to you if that was actually what she meant. By the way, did the lady know of this fact? Yes, on that day she heard about the tooth removal herself. Then this beefsteak was eaten by you after all. Why was your steak in front of the professor? Answer it! Answer my freaking question, lady! It is as you say. The evidence in that photograph is what it was from the time. It was very frightful and sad. From that time, huh? Yeah, I do apologize for my mic. Because of how I have a Katsukity capture card for this DS, for my Japanese 3DS. And so I actually have to take the audio from the audio jack and plug that into my computer. So I can't use my normal microphone because that microphone is hooked up to the same system that I have to rearrange to hook up to this DS. So I am actually using my headphone microphone. So while with my normal one, when I do yell, it's a lot further away from me, so you guys don't get as much feedback. This one is literally, it's like maybe 3 inches away from my mouth, and I can't make it go any further. Trust me, if I could change anything about this setup, it would be that. But you guys can at least hear me, and you can hear the game audio, and I think that's what helps make this a bit better. But again, I do apologize if you guys do get the feedback from me yelling because of the microphone I have to use.
Indeed, what a tragic event. To come to this eastern country and be tangled in an incident such as this. This Peinu will turn into a...
I'm sorry, what? Okay, I don't know how best to translate this. I mean, I could tell you what it means, but I don't know how to translate it. Okay, so I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna explain what this word is.
This Peinu will turn into a merciless Kishin and swear to sink the true criminal's face with his fist.
So, Kishin is wrathful god. That is literally what is written, and I have no better way of translating that. Because I don't want to say that he'll turn into a god, because that's not really what he's trying to get across. He's just trying to use the term of God to show his wrath and anger. And if you've watched Soul Eater, you know about Kishins. Basically what he's doing. Alright, let's continue on. So, the late Professor Watson didn't put anything in his mouth then. Yes, other than the carbonated water. It says carbonated. I don't know who would drink just carbonated water. I'm hoping that they're meaning sparkling, but it's translated as carbonated. I got no clues. Carbonated water? While he could not have a meal, he was indeed able to have a drink on the other hand. So the two of us had a toast, she says. A toast with carbonated drinks, huh? So, what do you think of the testimony? think in this situation we should choose that first option. What the first option says, it has important meaning. So it's important. So we need this in our testimony because, God, the fact that your food was in front of him is still my, like, number one red flag, lady. I think the words of the lady hold a very important meaning.
Oh, that's very interesting. What kind of meaning does it hold?
Dot, dot, dots. When the appropriate time comes, the meaning shall reveal itself. The defense requests that the statement be added to the testimony.
You slipped past that one, Will.
Now then, beautiful lady. He literally says beautiful lady instead of using her frickin' name. Thank you for the bias, Mr. Judge. Please add that statement to your testimony, all right? I happily oblige, she says. That mask and that smile, I'm sorry, lady, but you're just like bells. Bells are ringing in my head. Everything she does makes me want to add bells to my head. Ah, Kanan, the sentence earlier. I remember it well. What sentence? When the appropriate time comes. That seems extremely convenient for a lot of things. That is an extremely convenient sentence. Yes, I do agree with you. You want me to play Monster Hunter Generations? Again, I might do that, and I will definitely leave it up to you guys. I am doing an event in December where you guys will be the ones picking you guys will be picking what I play. So keep it in mind, you might get me to play Monster Hunter Generations. Which then might lead to more of it on the channel, who knows? Will you please start putting more effort into learning how to be more serious instead, Raito? Alright, so the new second statement, the reason we have an issue with it was, oh my God, look, his food is in front of him and not you, lady. Hi. Sir! Oh, did I put the wrong picture? Yeah, I put the wrong picture. I apologize, guys. Don't you lie to me, lady. I'm not translating this because I don't want to translate that. All right, we're going back to this. There we go. Sir! That's right! Please confirm one thing for me. In this photo, that is as it was at the time, she said. It is exactly as you say, she says. Oh, was I ahead of it? What? How did that happen? But that's, you know, extremely strange. Very strange.
The only strange one here is an attorney who can't strike down his claims properly. You plebeian!
Lesbian? Something! It's a word. Ugh. Yeah, oh, I would do that too if I ever had to look at Pinu in the face. What exactly are you trying to say is strange about this photograph? Of course! I'm referring to the toast.
Toast?
Oh, I wasn't referring to the fact that her plate is in front of the victim instead of in front of the other empty seat. I'm sorry. The lady claimed this herself, didn't she? That she had a toast with the professor with carbonated drinks in wine glasses? But if that were the case, then at this table there should be 2 of those, I think. Ah! Indeed, there is just 1 single glass.
Objection! No matter how you see it, I think that is just a trivial issue.
It is not freaking trivial. Try again, dude. You need to actually come up with a reason why my lovely interjection holds no weight.
It's unimaginable to believe that 1 wine glass can hold any impact to this incident in any manner.
Oh, yeah? Objection! You say that's trivial? You can't be saying! You're saying that in order to hide that lady, the police disposed of the wine glass? That is nonsense. I never did something as asinine as that. But there should be 2 wine glasses, shouldn't there? Because think about it, they had a toast! Yes, you do have a point. As a waiter, I had sent 2 wine glasses to that table, but... Oh dear God. How are you getting out of this, lady? Detective! What does the lady tell us? The one who had taken the wine glass from the scene was none other than Miss Giselle Boulette herself.
He'll get to it. You gotta remember, he's not really an attorney. He's just trapped in a bad situation at a bad time.
What? I had been so shocked by the events that unfolded right before my eyes that I took and hid as if I was never there, she says. How? Sorry. Oh, English!
Take a look for yourselves. It was a trivial issue after all.
Before this fair maiden's eyes. Okay, Penu, shut up.
That British man was killed by the hands of this poor university student, you know. You cannot fault her for hiding 1 or 2 wine glasses in that situation.
That's absurd, damn it!
What are you saying? That you're trying to condemn this weak, young, and beautiful foreign woman for her playfulness.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry? Luminagan said, what now? Screw you for your lovely thing. No, please do not dismiss that as just playfulness. By the way, how was it that this lady took away the wine glass? Queen's English. It's like you spoke normal English, but now you're speaking only Queen's English. Why? She says it was brought home by placing it with a small handbag she had carried with her. I'm sorry, handbag can hold a gun. You just proved my point, lady. You had the ability. A handbag? It is a fashionable small item holder that the ladies in the Great British Empire carry around. Alright, hold on a second, guys. Somebody is barking up a storm, and I gotta go find out what she's having an issue with.
With this, we've established that the wine glass was taken away by the lady from our crime scene.
Sorry about that, guys. That still does not explain the fact that she took a freaking wine glass from the scene of the crime. I'm sorry, nobody noticed that she stole a piece of evidence? And she's not even gonna get in trouble for it?
However, that wine glass itself is completely irrelevant to the case at hand. This is much like the evil's final struggle from a university student with a never-ending wave of conclusions that he jumps to. There is no need to further create irrelevant false accusations that we have to deal with.
Indeed! As long as we know the reason for why the lady has taken the wine glass away, then it has nothing to do with the incident at hand, and thus should be struck from the record. Does that sit well with you, Mr. Attorney? I wonder... At this rate, if we continue to press this problem, there might be an important issue hidden within. We need to be able to show them that issue. Yeah, The wine glass was taken away in a handbag? The important issue would lie within... It'd be option number 2. The problem is that she had a handbag. Please hold on a moment. Was the wine glass inside the handbag?
Indeed, that is obvious.
Remember, it's not a wine bottle in Apollo Justice. That's grape juice.
Every lady within the Great British Empire has a handbag, after all.
I'm sure that Miss Giselle said this earlier. There are no locations on this garment where a handgun could have been concealed. See how the music just goes silent? As if, oh my god, everybody else figured out that she just freaking contradicted herself? Yes! However, if you factor in that handbag, then wouldn't it be possible for the handgun to be hidden within the handbag? Oh! As expected of my partner, so you noticed it as well.
What do you mean by that, you dirty little?
It's simple. The defendant, real Raito, picked up a fallen pistol on the ground and heard a gunshot. Therefore, in that scene, there had to have been another gun. Just think of it like that. There was the true murder weapon.
You can't mean...
Yes, we do mean, because we are at the time where unfortunately we can't do a ballistics analysis, which makes this very painful and allows for somebody to get away with stuff like this. Crap! Detective! What is it? Did you inspect the contents of Miss Giselle's handbag? No, I did not inspect it. I knew it! In other words, the other gun, the real murder weapon, could possibly have been hidden within Miss Giselle's handbag. Owned!
What do you say?
Order!
Detective, how do you explain this?
Explain what, Prosecutor Painu?
Why did you not check the insides of that handbag for yourself? Because of your lack of diligence, this lady will have to deal with these false accusations.
You did it, partner. With this, we've torn down her facade, and I think we have the chance to grasp an opportunity. Really, Kanan? My goodness, you don't have faith in the police. It's true, I did not check the contents of the lady's handbag, because there was no need to. But what do you mean? I have to thank the student attorney over there. You've reminded me of a piece of evidence I'd previously forgotten. It's this photograph here. I had taken this photograph out of precaution after the incident occurred, but you can clearly see Miss Giselle's handbag in this photograph. Why did you not bring that up earlier? What in the... Nobody heard that. Nobody heard what I just said. The insides of this handbag can be clearly seen. Exactly, Your Honor. This is a handbag compiled from leather straps and is currently trending with the high classes of London. The insides! of this handbag can be seen. That is why there was no need to inspect it. After all, if there was a handgun within, it would stand out immediately. Ah! Therefore, it would mean that Miss Giselle is innocent. No, it does not! It just means she didn't have the handgun in her handbag. It does not make her innocent because, I'm sorry, that little smirk of hers, they ain't flying with me. I express my gratitude. I express my gratitude for showing the proof, Mr. Student. Ugh! Oh! Oh! Oh, Raito, I'm sorry! Okay, let me calm down a bit. Whew. Okay. Order! Order! Detective! I order that you hand over that photograph as evidence to this court, now! As you wish. Photograph of the handbag added to the court record. God! I hereby declare the conclusion of the witness's cross-examination. No! The court believes that all of the evidence has been gathered. As long as there is no problem with this new evidence, then the mystery that is at hand has been solved. You heard nothing, Zeta. You heard nothing. I covered the mic. Doesn't mean that it didn't pick up something, but you heard nothing. I make up a ton of words to not cuss. And unfortunately, he made me cuss because, God! You should have given that evidence at the very beginning. That is a photograph. Alright. Then the mystery has been resolved. Handing down a judgment thus would be appropriate.
In other words, there is only one real conclusion. Other than this poor student at the scene, there was no other possibility for a true criminal to emerge.
No! He looks like a zombie. No. And here I thought the turnabout was finally starting. Crap! I got blown back so hard before I could even start on a counter argument. Oh God, Kaden! Kaden? Dots. I'm so sorry, Raito. We are turning this around. You are not giving up on me. Damn it, Kaden! With the conclusion of the cross-examination, it will be impossible to continue this trial. What? Then the verdict will be crap! Crap! That is literally what it says. Is cuckoo. Who makes that sound when they're trying to act all freaking smug?
That was a decent fight that you put up, poor student, with no knowledge about anything. I will concede to you on that matter. However, putting up a fight in the face of a fair judgment is futile at best. You need to grit your teeth and reflect on the fact that, and reflect on this truth within the walls of the dungeons to your heart's consent.
Is this actually how this is gonna end? I'll be guilty of a crime I never committed? And also there's him. Crap! I'm going to be the cause for him giving up his dream of studying abroad in the Great British Empire. Hey, Kanan? What is it, Raito? Is there really no time left? Is there no possible chance for a turnabout? You heard the judge. As long as there isn't any problem with the detective's photograph, we won't be allowed to continue the trial. It's impossible. So I have to find fault with a photograph. I need to nitpick. I can do that. Very well! We shall now proceed to hand down the final judgment. Dun dun dun.
So it seems our report shall safely reach the Great British Empire without any further delay.
Damn! I will now announce the verdict for the defendant, Raito, sir! Please wait, Your Honor. Raito? I don't think you should pass a verdict right now.
Objection! What are you rambling on about now, you amateur? When the trial is over and a conclusion has been reached, the judge hands down a verdict. That is the fundamental rule that exists within the laws of this great court.
Sir! His Honor had said this earlier. As long as there is not a problem with this new evidence, this photograph, then all of the mysteries in this case have been resolved, and handing down a judgment would be appropriate. Therefore, I come up with the fact that there is a huge problem with this evidence. And thus, this trial will not be allowed to conclude here.
Objection! What kind of delusional words do you think you're spewing? This photograph shows only a handbag.
Oh yeah, it shows only a handbag
that the lady carried with her that day. There was no problem to it at all.
I comprehend the defense's position. Indeed, there has yet to be any in-depth inspection of this photograph, following the detective's compliance to hand it over. However, I cannot think of any new clues that can be gleaned from within this handbag.
As if there ever was one. I've grown fed up with this student's claims born out of confused anguish.
This is definitely not confused anguish. I know for sure that there is something that stands out within this picture. Very well then. The defense shall be granted one final opportunity.
Come again?
This trial may end immediately. That will be hinged upon your answer. Understand? Yes, Your Honor. In this photograph that the detective handed over to us, what problem stands out within it? Please point it out to me. I would say that his arm, that tattoo really points out to me. I am saving though. I am not risking that I'm translating awkwardly. But again, I think it's the arm. The only thing I can see.
Hi.
Sir, please take a look right here. On the victim's wrist, there's a mysterious scar. Indeed! This is why it looks like it was burnt! Oh, lady! You got an issue with what I just found.
Objection! I had wondered what might come out of your lips. And you say that the victim's wrist was burnt? That has nothing to do with the lady's handbag now, does it?
That indeed is a scar from a burn. Dot dot dots. Could you elaborate, detective? The police had noticed that as well during the inspection of the corpse. But since it was concluded it had nothing to do with the cause of death, it was left out of the records.
That would be natural. The exact time when the victim bore the burn mark is unknown in the first place. So to reach a clear conclusion would have to been impossible, I think.
The more I look at this somehow, I feel as if there's something weird about this scar, but it is as Prosecutor Payne who says, as long as the matter's relation to this case isn't pointed out, as long as it isn't pointed out, I will not recognize the necessity of further investigation to this burn mark.
Screw you!
Oh, lady, no. Unfortunately, Your Honor, time is quickly approaching for her to dine with the university heads. If it is all right, the witness would like to kindly request to withdraw from the court. No! You do not get to leave the courtroom! You might have gotten away from a crime scene, lady, but your influence does not let you get away from a courtroom. Especially when I'm about to go and screw with this whole situation and turn everything around.
Oh, but of course, there isn't a single problem whatsoever. Your Honor, please, let us hand down the verdict at once.
Okay. Raito, what do you mean? You're saying that this burn mark is related to this incident. To tell you the truth, I don't really understand it myself, but if all we do is stand idly by, then everything will be over! That's why I felt I must push forward no matter what. Yes, you're right. Kanan! We will prove the connection between the burn and the incident at hand. We might be able to wrench open a path that was previously locked to us. Oh God.
What now? There's no way you can possibly pull this off!
We cannot afford to waste time listening to baseless conjecture. In other words, all we need to do is show you evidence, Your Honor. The proof that links the burn mark to this incident. That is correct. Truth be told, I had overlooked the mysterious burn mark. However, the moment you pointed out that out in the photograph, I did not overlook the lady's change of expression. Bam! At least Kanan is a good partner. What? I have no choice but to prove the relation between the burn mark and this incident. This is a crucial situation. I have to find that piece of evidence that will reveal the underlying truth of the burn mark. I now hereby order that the defense present to us evidence Evidence that proves the link between the burn mark and the incident at hand.
Hi!
The same photograph from before. How do I put it? I think this photograph holds a key revelation. Something that is overlooked easily by those of us with human-like eyes. And thus, imprinted eternally to the end.
And just what might that something be within this photograph?
Okay.
I cannot allow you to keep your charades and needlessly waste the lady's time with your meaningless jibber-jabber.
Please, just follow along for a little while longer, Miss Giselle. I wouldn't even talk to her, Raito. I wouldn't do it. See, she knows we're figuring her out. That something is very clearly printed into this photograph. Just why did the victim have a burn mark as mysterious as this? What was that reason? Screw you!
A bluff as a boulder dashes that won't work on me.
I'm gonna change that.
A bluff as idiotic as that won't work on me.
Because I am not British and I don't really want to use the term boulder dash.
You would do well to identify what this proof is once more. Just what is the reason that caused the victim to have a burn mark?
I'm looking at it right there. It's that plate. I can't see. There we go.
The beefs? The steak?
The importance lies with the iron plate under the meat. Iron plate? Ah! Ah! Did you guys not see? It was in the shape of a cow head.
What is wrong, Your Honor?
This iron plate bears a certain insignia. It's fairly obvious that this is the mark of La Quintantos. Oh! The insignia on this iron plate and the insignia on the victim's burn mark is a perfect match. Ah! Raito, you really are something else. He is right. Therefore, the burn mark on the victim was received within La Quintantos.
Objection! But even if you say that, it doesn't mean that he was burnt on the same day as the incident. It could have even been the day before the incident, the day before, or practically any day ever.
That is, which is... Kaden, help me! Thank you. Sorry to disappoint you, Prosecutor Kainu, but the chances of that are considerably low. Kaden, thank you!
Why would that be?
The fact that he was clearly burnt to this extent, that would be a rather big incident. I can't imagine how the store would go by without making a huge racket. Detective Hosonaga, what do you take of that? Indeed, an incident of that scale. It cannot possibly sit by without causing a single noise.
That can't be.
Looking at that wound brings another thought to mind. For a wound that small, but to be so clearly burnt to a degree would mean that the burn was by no means light.
And that would mean?
For example, I guess, if the iron plate was at 90 degrees Celsius, it literally says 90 degrees Celsius because that's what they use. Imagine that that's a lot higher in Fahrenheit if you want to go and calculate that correctly on your own. Then for that level of burn, you would have to press against it for about 3 seconds. You would literally scream from that. I have been undercover for several weeks since I started. I have not heard any scream of that magnitude. As a waiter of La Quintantos, I can confidently assure you.
Weren't you a detective before a waiter?
Sir! Indeed. That's why this is downright odd.
It's exactly as the detective says.
If you were pressed down your wrist down on that piping hot iron plate for 3 seconds, anyone would have screamed in pain from that. That's human instinct. However, the detective did not hear any such screams from the professor on the day of the incident. In fact, the strange thing is, on that day, I didn't hear anything like that either. What? On that day, if the professor had carelessly pressed his wrist to the iron plate under the stake for 3 seconds, I do think you would be shocked out of that careless stupor you find yourself in. At that time, there was me, the soldier, and the owner of the antique store. Needless to say, that scream would definitely have been heard. Isn't that right, Sir Prosecutor?
Yes, that's true.
Then it begs the question, why did none of us hear Professor Watson scream? Why did none of us hear Professor Watson scream? Raito! So what you're trying to say is... Oh god, it shouldn't be, but... If someone had told me that I would be reaching for this sort of conclusion when this all started, I would not have believed them. But it looks now like we've all fallen victim to an unimaginable trap. Bum bum bum! I can only think of just one possible explanation for this contradiction. On that day when the professor burned his wrist, he was already dead! Even though his wrist was pressed into a scorching hot iron plate, he managed to keep his silence. A scenario like that would be impossible, save for one possibility. Save for one possibility! Could that be? Of course, if that person was already dead.
Already?
Dead? Oh, look at that face! She knows we figured it out! We're on to you, Giselle. We're on to you. Since it has now come to this, any other explanation would be unthinkable. On that day, when the steak was taken over to Professor Watson's dining table, the professor was already dead!
What? No! Wait! That's impossible!
Order! Just what in heavens does this mean? Didn't we operate under the assumption that the victim had his life robbed from him by a gun?
Indeed so, Your Honor. It shouldn't have been any otherwise. The The words of the student are nothing but nonsense that he spouts in an attempt to twist the truth.
Objection. The one twisting the truth is you, Prosecutor Painu.
How so?
We've established a time when the professor burnt his wrist within La Quantos. The reality of that incident has already undergone a complete change. Are you still unable to comprehend that? Myth. Your Honor, we demand that this witness testify once more. If the victim had been dead long before the sound of that gunshot, there must be a possibility that this witness knew. I would never. For a trial to take such an abrupt change in this manner is beyond even my wildest imagination. I'm sorry to ask this of you, Miss Giselle, but you will need to give up the dining event that you have arranged for later.
You're serious?
While judgment trials within our empire are still young at heart, as long as there is an issue with the evidence at hand, we cannot pass down a verdict. Your Honor. She's like, oh God, I'm gonna get caught. I'm so getting caught. You are getting caught, lady. Wait. No. Don't do it. Oh! Oh my God! The lady laughed? You laughed at the fact that I am going to find out what the crap you did! Yes, of course. Of course. Oh God, she changed into English. From English to Japanese. I'll happily lend you my cooperation. For the sake of your empire and mine. From the good friendship that we share with the Empire of Japan.
Miss Blett, did you speak in Japanese?
You lying son of a boo! Okay, you lying daughter of a boo! Oh? But why wouldn't I? After all, I am an exchange student in your lands. Then, what was the need for a translator? Queen's English. English is but the most beautiful language after all. A lady would never stand to tolerate dirtying their lips with such an ugly and uncivilized language. You little freaking flabbernaggit! Dot dot dots. Dot dot dots. No one has anything to say for somebody being that kind of person. It is apparent that the gentlemen of this empire possess a chivalrous spirit. Thus I found the need to converse words only in my own tongue.
Oh! As expected of a lady from the Great British Empire. The extent of your heart is as wide as the Great Ocean.
Very well! Miss Giselle, we would like to ask that you give us your testimony. Tell us what you know following the victim's death. said son of a boo. I did not say the actual word. I said son of a boo. So nobody heard anything. Understand? Nobody heard anything. That lady is finally willing to speak for herself, huh? She's about to come clean, Raito. Witness testimony! The victim's death. That's right. That word in parentheses is death. Remember that kanji, everybody. Unfortunately, I know not when he had burned himself. I was enjoying my steak and shared a toast with the professor, remember? But it's your steak he burned himself on! God! Does no one remember that? I had heard the results of the autopsy report, that it was unthinkable for the cause of death to be anything other than being shot by a gun. If there is a means of robbing life without leaving so much as a single trace, show it to me. Wait a minute. Did you poison him? That's what I'm getting from that one sentence. Did you poison him? I'm getting poisoning. I'm putting my hand on the table. Poison. Poison, lady. Oh, but surely it would be impossible for your immature empire's investigation methods to produce any new evidence. That was the most captivating and beautiful testimony in history that has ever graced this great court hall. You're overpraising her. I would hope for this to be the last time I ever utter such an uncivilized language from my lips. Screw you, lady. I might also be American and like my English, but, you're an exchange student in Japan. You don't get to call the language uncivilized. I'm sorry. There's like a million other languages I would save that for. Japanese is not one of them. I do sincerely apologize if I have offended you. Oh, not at all! Being blessed with such words fill me with nothing but gratitude and happiness. I knew all along that burn had nothing to do with our incident. I would very much like to forward the report of today's events to your Minister of Justice. Ministry of Justice. Ministry, not minister. Blech.
Ministry of Justice?
See that I request for that bothersome hoodlum of a student over there to have an increased weight on his punishment. Screw you, lady. You can't make my punishment worse just because I dragged you into this. Because you happen to be involved! Ahem. Gee, thanks. I got hit with an ahem, huh? Following that bothersomeness, we request for another cross-examination. Oh, you thought you were getting away scot-clean, lady. I know you are aware I know that you are just as aware as I am that this hoodlum of a student here is quite exceptional. Even if he doesn't look it right now. He looks like a zombie right now. Oh. You didn't even have to request for it. This shall be our final cross-examination. Should there be no issues found in this witness's testimony, This trial shall come to its end. Understood, Mr. Attorney. Oh God, why'd you do that? Yes, Your Honor. I now order for the cross-examination to take place. Sir! What do you mean by immature? In the Great British Empire, everything on the scene is protected for safekeeping and investigation by our police force. Yet, in this empire, everything ends after one single bout of investigation. Is that not so?
Yes! In fact, the operation of La Quintantos is still in effect today.
Really? Really? Does that not shock you? Hence, even should the situation... He's coughing! Oh my God! This is like... Oh God! This is like Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. I get to pick and choose other people. Okay, back to it. Hence, even should the situation change, there is no possible way a new evidence can be brought forth. Your immature good detectives would be unable to find a problem at all. Do you understand? With an open mind.
Ta-da! You struck a nerve where it hurts! Just as expected!
I didn't quite understand exactly what she was saying, but I tried to translate it as good as possible. Somehow, is it just me, or is that prosecutor starting to resemble a god? What? I think you're completely imagining it. I agree. In any case, the testimony just given by Giselle-san. For a split second somewhere, it seemed like there was something curious going on. Yeah, he started coughing during her testimony, which means ha ha ha, wink wink, nudge nudge, let's look at it. How does it look, Raito? Not good. Not good at all. No matter how much I press, I can't seem to find any leads. As I thought. That woman has quite the stiff upper lip. If we can't find any holes to strike, the cross-examination is sure to end. No? Isn't there something? Isn't there a clue within the imported beauty's testimony that I can grasp? Hey, Kanan? What is it, Raito? There is actually one thing that I'm curious about. Something that you're curious about? You mean that lady? That's not it. It's the man next to her. It's the man next to her, Detective Hosonaga. The detective? During that last testimony, he reacted strangely. Is there anything we could take advantage of in that detective's reaction? I could think of one way. Try pressing that lady's last testimony one more time. Eh? Our target this time is not the composed-looking lady, but the detective next to her. Ah, alright, I understand. Kanan, you just now realized something. Let's try pressing the lady's last testimony. mean by immature? Blabbly 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 all over again. Painu makes his little assumption all over again. That! And stop! Right there! The detective is reacting to Giselle-san's words. Blech. Up until a short moment ago, that detective had been standing in the witness stand as the woman's translator. However, now that the situation has changed greatly, Detective Hosonaga he's in a position to listen to the lady's words. It might be possible that this is our best chance. What do you mean? When a person provides testimony for their own sake, they inadvertently show a side of themselves that they dislike. However, when they listen to another's words, they themselves become defenseless. I'm not fully understanding this, but hey, you're right. He's completely lost in his own thoughts. Now is the time to cross-examine that detective. Not cross-examine, cross-question? It's weird. So I'm just gonna call it question that detective. Question? Raito, take a look at the bottom screen. Bottom screen? Oh! If our attention is affixed to the person providing the testimony, the lady, if you slide the cursor, you should be able to see the other witnesses on the stand. Do that, and the option to interrupt the witness you are looking at will appear. If you strike at a witness when their guards are down, you might be able to receive new information. If you see any suspicious tells, don't hesitate to look around. Remember that. First, slide the cursor and focus, so the focus is shifted onto the detective. So then it's questioning. Alright, let's try this out! Come on. Hang on! Gah! What on earth is it? Oh god, we set him into a coughing fit. I'm deeply sorry. I didn't mean to agitate you to that degree. This lapse in defense, this is something that should be feared. Just now, you seem to be stuck in some rather deep thoughts. As you listen to the lady's testimony beside you. If there's something you would like to say, please let us hear it. And then somebody is gonna screw me over, isn't he? Screw you!
But what is this? The one providing the testimony right now is this lady from England. If you cannot find a problem in her words, then this cross-examination is to be concluded.
Is that the truth, No, it isn't.
Eh?
As long as he's on the witness stand, Detective Hosonaga is a legitimate witness as well. But plus, this detective is a person related to the incident. Detective Hosonaga! Yes? Yes. Blech. Is there something you would like to add on to that earlier testimony? Dot dot dots. Very well then. With all due respect, I shall be adding on my statement. Da da da! Giselle does not like this! It is true that our country's police force's investigation methods are still not fully developed yet. That's exactly why Hosonaga and just Hosonaga alone. I don't know why you're referring to yourself in the third person. Deeply wishes to perfect the standards. Perfect them? That's exactly why I, Hosonaga, grabbed whatever I could get my hands on from the crime scene, without any care for preserving the crime scene. You may call me a crime scene burglar if you wish. I did it all of that irregardless. Crime scene burglar? Crime scene burglar? It seems as though the lady's words hurt the detective's pride. For example, this. Oh! See? Poison makes me think it's poison. Could that be? This is the carbonated water I had taken from the victim's dining table on that day. I still think it's sparkling water, but it says carbonated, so... Since then, 3 days have passed. Now it should be nothing more than just water. That's right, no matter what anyone says, this once was carbonated water. It looks like there's still some water left in that bottle. Eventually, at the turn of this new century, our country's police force will stand on top of the world. Hosonaga believes so! Again, why are you referring to yourself in the third person, buddy? While I cannot understand the witness himself, I do understand his claims. I order for that beautiful glass bottle to be handed over to the court as evidence. Forgive me, Miss Giselle. The label is written in a foreign language I have never seen before. I'm pausing.
This label, it's in a different language than any I've ever seen.
Ever seen? Bleh. Kanan, what does it say?
This looks French. This must be a high-class item.
I'm asking what these words mean.
Go to France and ask them.
It wouldn't hurt, to be honest, and admit that you don't know. I just wanted to examine it. I'm sorry, guys. Plus, you need to examine it later, no matter what. Yes, that is the very same glass bottled. Something feels off. Just now, she looked as though she was looking away. We shall now return to the cross-examination. Detective, you are to restrain yourself a little more. I can do this correctly.
Hi!
This is the glass bottle from earlier. To kill the victim without leaving a single trace, I can only think of one method. Of course, that would be poison.
But poison?
The victim, Professor Watson, had taken a drink of this carbonated drink down that day. The liquid inside of the bottle could have contained poison. See how she's silent in regards to it? The professor drinks that and consequently dies. Order! 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 On that day, the person who was at the same table with the victim could have slipped in the poison. And that person could have been none other than this individual. Of course, that would be you, Giselle Bullock-san. You're the culprit. Someone's gonna make me say, screw you, aren't they? Screw you!
You! How could you say such a baseless argument? Even a failure of a student such as yourself should know what this means for the current standing of our empire. Our empire just barely finished having a treaty with the Great British Empire. Do you intend to destroy that very relationship with your mad accusations?
I am looking for the truth, damn it. I ain't looking at whatever you want to believe in. Objection! This is not a place for politics. This is a courtroom for the judgment of a person's sins.
What?
The fact that she's a lady from the Great British Empire is irrelevant. If she is guilty or not, that's the only thing that matters. I love you, Kanan. You're adorable. Thank you. Thank you for being wonderful, Kanan. Excuse me, may I have a word?
I won't tolerate any insults to this
The one who ought to be silenced is you. Did she just say shut up? Oh dear Lord. And I'm stuck in the British voice because I want to be stuck in the British voice.
Yes. Yes!
What is this strange insanity that we're dealing with? Please excuse that scene from earlier. I sincerely apologize to you from the bottom of my heart. What about? Yeah, what about, lady? What are you apologizing for? For calling the police force of this country immature. But no matter how immature it is, they still investigated, didn't they? Whether this glass bottle had poison mixed in or not. Of course. Means maybe it's not in the glass bottle. Maybe it's in the wine glass you took from the crime scene. I'm sorry. Sorry everybody for yelling screw you. I'll try, but do understand these guys might make me yell it again.
Eh?
I had said in my statement earlier, I, Hosonaga, wish to perfect the standards. You can't mean. I still think that she put it in the glass, like any good poison giver would do. Naturally, we have already inspected the contents of this glass bottle. What the? And what of the results? The conclusion arrived from the examination against the possible poisons in our country that our country currently knows of. And this carbonated water has no poison in it. Again, I say, means nothing! What do you say? Are you sure there's no mistake? This conclusion was reached from having it personally examined by the Chief Medical Inspector of the capital of the police force. What? What did you say? I have to express my gratitude to the people of this country. You have proven my innocence for me. Thank you.
Screw you, lady. Screw you. Of course it is as you say. Your thanks is unnecessary, Lady Dono.
Don't say Lady Dono, dude. Don't do it. Oh, how can this be?
That is impossible.
Again, I think it's in the glass that she stole from the scene of the crime. It's 11:08 p.m. right now for you guys. It's only 9 p.m. for me, which means we've been going at this for about 2 hours. That's a shock.
If it's poison, then all the logical points would be correct.
It appears that this cross-examination has made everything clear. Other than the gun, there exist no other methods of murder. Therefore, the one who committed this crime was none other than the defendant who had a gun that day. It's hopeless. I deeply apologize for taking up your time, lady. Don't mind. If you understand, then all is well. Defendant! There is something I would like you to confirm, just in case. Other than this, is there any new evidence that you would like to present? Kanan? Oh no. We're in a bad situation! I'm sorry, Raito. We have no more evidence. Well then, everyone, I shall be taking my leave here. Someone help me! Someone help me! She said hold it.
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
That girl is... You? Who are you?
I am deeply sorry for interrupting this trial. I am a defending attorney's legal assistant. My name is Susa Mikotoba.
Mikotoba? As we are cornered in that instant, she appeared in a dignified manner. In her hand, she held a dainty bag wrapped in a furoshiki. It's a traditional Japanese wrapping cloth that you wrap things in, like a bento box. And... that's it, to be continued next time on episode 3 of The Great Ace Attorney. Alrighty, everybody, so Q&A time, Q&A time, Q&A time. And let's switch this over if I have it. Do I have it? Nope. Hi, everybody, Q&A time, hey. Ignore the mess, ignore it. And nobody is asking questions.
He wants to ask questions.
Nobody's asking questions. Nobody's asking questions. Questions. I need questions. Thank you all. Give me questions. It is entirely possible if I can actually eat my food while I do stuff. I've had a pizza here the entire time. It's just been calling out to me so that I can eat it. I want to eat it. I really want to eat it. Anyway, come on, questions. Give me questions. Maybe I have answers for you. Give me questions. I want questions. Otherwise, it's pointless for you. Hello! Darian Perez. Hi, how are you? I think I'll stream another episode of The Great Ace Attorney Sunday night. Check it out is tomorrow, so we'll probably do episode 3 Sunday night. Yes, Ryu is Phoenix's ancestor. It doesn't fully connect to the case that we know now, but as you saw, Painu is the ancestor of the Pain brothers that we know of. Ryu is Phoenix's ancestor, and so it connects. It's a huge time gap between connection. But get ready. I really cannot wait until we actually get into Chapter 2 of this game, because guess what's in Chapter 2? Chapter 2 is Sherlock Holmes! Like, seriously, did you guys see the intro? You guys got to see a little bit of Sherlock Holmes because I was so interested in putting that in the intro. This game came out last year, and Spirit of Justice came after it in Japanese. Trust me, I was playing this last year. Like, when I was in Japan during the summer, I literally hunted this game down just to play this game. Alright, to be totally honest, today I was watching SAO 2 for the second time. It was cool, but what's your favorite part of SAO? I think it's like a toss-up between Mother Rosary and the very first arc of Sword Art Online. The Mother Rosary arc is heartbreaking and amazing, and it's just wonderful. If I have to recommend an arc, Mother Rosary is definitely the first arc I recommend, followed by the first one, followed by GGO, and then followed by the arc that we're going into in the lovely, in the light novels. Persona is a game series. As you can see behind me, I have a Persona 4 wall scroll. And you can look on my channel. I did a Let's Play, a little bit of Persona 4 Golden. I probably will not continue that because I found myself in Kanji's territory 15 levels underleveled? I have never played Minecraft, and I probably never will play Minecraft, so I've got no opinion on it. Pain's fan should have his last name on it, which in Japan is Aichi, which is basically a play on the English word ow in Japanese romanization. So it's literally just pain. It's painful. It's pain on the fan. Yes, I've actually been to Japan twice in my life. Once when I was 18, and then last year when I was 21. And thank you. I'm glad you all are liking the content, and I'm glad that we're getting up in subscribers as fast as we are. Especially since this entire month is entirely focused on Ace Attorney, which isn't the biggest franchise ever. Anyway, to keep you guys updated, we will be doing Ace Attorney all the way through the 30th. There's a special episode, a special video that you guys will be getting on the 30th as I start Yokai Watch, the weeks of Yokai Watch. And the weeks of Yokai Watch will be weekdays. They're not going to be on the weekends. I'm only going to upload Yokai Watch content on the weekdays. The weekends are going to be Check It Out, Ace Attorney, and then probably get back into some other video games that we have on the channel. Oh, in December, I'm going to London. Literally from December 14th to the 24th, I am in London. So that is why you will not be getting videos from me for that lovely time period. What is your favorite Pokemon? Pikachu? I have 52 Pikachu plushes. Pikachu will always be my favorite Pokemon. No offense. Like, literally, I went to Japan and I like hunted down a day to actually go to Yokohama just for the Pikachu event in Yokohama. Yes, I did play Yokai Watch Wibwa, but I got a new phone. And then after I got my new phone, my phone was recalled. So I have a new phone. So, and unfortunately, I cannot for the life of me figure out how, if I had originally saved the data, which I hoped I did, if that still exists. Coma Raito attorney could be a thing. It depends. The fact that Level 5 has worked with Capcom on a crossover between some of their series has shown that A, it's very profitable for them, and B, it's a possibility. Do I think it's a good possibility without there being some dimension traveling yokai involved? No. I already, there's a lot of issues. Pikachu! Alrighty, everybody. Anyway, thank you all for joining me on the screen. We will now shift over, if I can get this correctly timed, to my... Ah, yes, I'm testing out a new screen, everybody. This is our if you are watching this post-live stream, you will see that there are 3 buttons on the side of my character screen. If you click on that top button, you will head on over to my playthrough of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, where you will meet the lovely and wonderful Delilah Hawthorne. Ooh! Or if you click on that bottom button, you will head on over to our playthrough, or the start of our playthrough of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, the 4th game in the series, and the reawakening of literally almost all the mechanics with a new cast of characters. And if you really, really like what you see and you would like to help support the channel grow even more, you can click on that lovely red button down below to subscribe to the channel today. Thank you all for supporting Ace Attorney Month. Thank you all for supporting all this content. And thank you all for allowing me to do like these live translations for you. It's a lot of work to get all of this put together. I have to actually translate everything, and then I've got to localize and make the translations a bit smoother. As you saw, there are still points where the translation isn't the smoothest. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of work put into it, and I'm just one person. If you do see something wrong in my translation, do let me know. Sometimes the reason there's something wrong is that I had an issue with the Japanese, and I tried to smooth it over and basically cover the same sort of meaning in English. But yeah, thank you all for supporting me, and I